Welcome to Tuesday night at Two Dogs Digs, and it's time for the Hall Pass. The Hall Pass, Hall Pass, Hall Pass, Hall Pass. And today is what sold in February, our monthly recap to let you guys know about the things that we've sold, and our fellow reseller, Carl, the lazy reseller, will be joining us in a second, sold. And lets you maybe find things that you hadn't thought about looking at before and seeing these things actually sell. Today has a little bit of a theme, unexpectedly, just based on the things that Carl sent and actually some of the things that we sold in the month of February. And February is the shortest month of the year. So we're going to take a little bit of a look there at sales and say, how did they affect us because it was a shorter month and everything like that. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the other stuff going on, a little bit about Whatnot, because we've always got to talk about Whatnot, just because it's a platform we're using now all the time, just like we do on eBay. And we'll talk a little bit about it next week as well. I have no idea whether the good dog is joining us or not. He's in a grumpy mood. He just ate, so I don't know whether it's actually digested or not yet. So if he's not showing up below me like he's there, I don't hear Doug either. So maybe the two of them have just left. Been left for the day. But who wouldn't leave me on a day like this? Carl wouldn't leave me on a day like this. Thank you, Carl, for being here with me on a day like this.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
How are you doing since you're into February already? Or
Yeah,
March already?
I'm doing okay. Like I can't go out as much, obviously. So I've been buying things at auctions and honestly going through all my old bins. And it's been startling going through and going like, oh, I know this is worth money and this is worth money and like just get rid of this and this. Because I like, like everyone, sometimes you just put things in boxes and then put them over there.
We've talked about that before, and I do shows on it all the time. I probably should do another show on it. It's like called Sitting on Profits.
Yeah.
Like, it's all sorts of different reasons we sit on profits. I think 100%,
yeah.
I know part of my reason. I've always said this was stupidest reason. I sit on profit so I can look at it at other times of the year and go, I bought that for $3. And that's all. And I know it's worth $300, and then I leave it, and I go, and it's like it's still in a box.
Yeah, I have a few of those as well. It's funny.
And we really need. I think that might be a show for March. Some point. I got to write that down. Sitting on profit because I am sitting on a bunch of them. Did the month go fast for you?
It went pretty quick, yeah. Sales wise, it wasn't great, but things have picked up a lot in the last week or two, so I'm happy about that.
Our sales are pretty close to where they had been in the past year and in the previous month. So a little slower, just like 6-7% below what they were month to month, which surprised me. We didn't do a lot of listing either the whole month. That was one of the biggest surprises. We're now down under 600 items or under 700 items, and we were over 800. So we're doing like list a couple of things. I'll auction them. I'll flip them on, and then something will sell. And it's sort of like when you list only 5 or 10 things in a week and you sell 10 or 15 things in a week.
Yeah, it's a treadmill forever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. So I mean, I'm happy. Hopefully we try and average about 100 sales in a month.
Yeah.
And February was shorter, and we were somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 something. Yeah, but the thing was, I only listed like 40 something. So I'm down under the 700 mark. I don't know how many people here in the comments, which a big hello to everybody who's in the comments, are up in their listings versus what they had, let's say, in December. You have more listings now on whatever platform, eBay, Etsy. How many people have more listings now versus how many people have the same versus how many people are like, no, I've dropped in terms of my listing. I think I might even have the ability to do it. I'm going to see. I thought I could do a poll. Can I do a poll on this new thing? I don't see a way to do a poll. I can see a private chat, but I can't see how to do a poll. So, but big hi, actually, while people are putting those points in. Thanks for joining us, Linda, Janet, hey, Holly, and Heather, Emily. Oh, Rick is watching. He just appeared. Sandy. Lisa, Elisa, Candace, Schmidt Auctions. Hey, Marla. We're going to talk a little bit about the Whatnot thing that we did on the weekend that Marla organized on Whatnot. It was a mystery box thing, so we'll go through that. Mr. Greg, hello. You're on the computer today, not on the television. Paul, his grump is digesting. Yes, I think that's what it is. Hi, Joe. The diva is in the building. Is that me, or is that...
I'll take it.
Sure. Either one of us can take it. Diana, hey there. I just found something that I was sitting on that I had no idea was profit. That's the best thing. Yes, that is true. Andrea sits on profit because he hates cleaning and testing it.
Yeah.
That's another reason that things like that happen all the time, too. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, Greg has more. I think that's it. Me. Nope, not me. More listings, less sales. Candace thinks they have more. Heather says, if it's not listed, it can't sell. Yeah. But someone came to our house to pick up a thing he bought and bought more. Sweet. Oh, that's actually even good. Schmidt is always listing, so Marla's always listing. Joan has less. The last 2 weeks have been nuts. And it's funny because you see chat and then you read stripper pole. You're like, what does
random, yeah.
What does that mean? I'm always wondering, did I miss something in the chat? And then all of a sudden it says stripper pole. There's Adrian doing his best McConaughey. All right. And Nelly, hey. Hey, Nelly. A big thanks to everybody here who is in the Kennel Club. Some of the people you'll see here have a little icon beside their name, a little doghouse of some kind, and that means they're supporting us at Two Dogs Digs. It's $2.99 through YouTube to support us here for all the things we try to do to help you on your reselling journey, finding things that you might find and flip. So as we always say, if it's less than a latte, it's got to be bought. Well, in this case, we have to add the A to make it rhyme. But in most of the cases, we hope that we'll provide you at least $3 worth of value, not only here on our YouTube channel, but looking at our bolos, which we call ARFs and woofs, our arbitrage, and on our Facebook group. And again, Carl's a member of it. Thanks everybody who is a member. You also get little emojis that you get to put up. Rick is good with doing the emojis. Oh, I said I was looking for a poll. Is that what I said? I don't even remember what I said. And look who surprised us is in the basement. Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
You had a nap.
That's why I added again.
Oh, again. Okay.
Hence the again.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Read. Open your eyes. Use those glasses.
I didn't see that. I just saw that you actually joined us out of the blue. I wasn't even sure if you were coming. So
no, I was having laptop problems down there.
Oh, okay.
And I posted it in the chat, and I started, and you ignored the star. So
you started. So you didn't tell me you were even coming to the thing. So
I put it on screen for a second, and you didn't bother looking at the screen.
I was doing stuff. And where's the star you're talking about? It's supposed to show up.
I took the star away because.
Well, why don't you put the star on something so I can see it show up?
Okay.
Put the star on something so I can see it. So this is a new thing we found because Rick is constantly. Like I'm putting up a post and Rick is constantly like doing stuff to the comments. So I said what we can do now is we've learned that we actually can star a comment. And when, like this one, I'm here. So now I can see the live comments that I might miss that he can actually star so I can go back in them every once in a while and see if there's a question that somebody was asking.
I see.
So it's actually really good because otherwise there's a whole, like if the chat goes really fast, we lose it. Hey, Sherry. Sherry would visit us as part of our Whatnot Mystery Day. And she actually was bought stuff and got some really great stuff for some really great prices. So there we go. That's off the rails already. Yeah. Thanks, Kelly. So we're talking first. We're going to talk first a little bit about our February sales. So I'm going to pop you out there for a second, Rick, and then I can pop you back in. So again, Carl, you and I were both doing sales. We were talking about our sales are down a little bit. You said your sales are down, but they picked up in the past week. Right?
Yeah, they definitely have in the last week or week and a half. Helps putting up better stuff sometimes too.
One of the things that I noticed, and I don't know if this was purposeful or just out of the blue, is or if everything else you sold was the same things you sold for a previous month. Because the things that you sent me for this month, the 5 things that I always ask to send me 5 things, they all kind of fit in that same sort of toys category, toys pop culture category.
Well, when you only have 45 sales, and you got to pick 5 of them, you know. But I tried to pick something I could
And
talk
the other
about.
40 are all Skylanders. You didn't want to.
Yeah. But
Lisa's going. She's been listing like crazy, and her sales have been up and down. Oh, Heather didn't find the Whatnot show. Oh, well, you should just be bookmarking Two Dogs Digs on Whatnot, and you can find us. But let's just see. We're gonna pop in. We're gonna show you a couple of different items. And before I go to Carl, though, one of the things I like to try and do, and this is because we actually talk about things that sell, and we try and give you ideas of things that could sell. Every once in a while, I'm going to go to yours, Carl, in just a second. We talk about the baggy wall haul that we just did a couple of weeks ago. We showed you a toy baggy wall. We actually showed you two, and one in January and one in February. And some of the things, I just wanted to show you some of the things from those things that sold. So I don't know if you remember these strange little naked boys, these Sunny Angel dolls, all there standing there in their little nakedness. That we found in a baggie, and there they have their little doohas sitting there so you can see them. Well, the funny thing was we actually sold those two. This was the 2 baggies, I think were $2.99 or $3.99 a baggie. We sold these 2 for $21, another one for $10, and the person came by our house and actually said, "Do you have more of those?" Because she missed the auction, and she ended up buying 4 more of them for another $40. So we got a total of almost $60, $70 from those. We still have 3 of them left. The funny thing is, I've actually started seeing some ads in my Facebook post in Marketplace with people selling Sunny Angels now. And I was like,
someone dumped their collection?
I don't know, but the girl, I think we did chat about it. The fact the girl likes making little diapers for these. I know they're macarons on their heads, but these are for a special company. They were sold for a chocolate factory called La Durie. We also showed you these playground kids. These were in a baggy lot, but these were a baggy lot a little while ago, but we finally put them up. I'd never heard of these things. No. These are literally a company called Playground Kids. They're like beanbag dolls, right? So beanbag bodies, like little plastic running shoes, and I never heard of them. It's very hard to actually research these too. When we were looking for these, it was so tough trying to do the research on these because they only came out for about a year. They're by Ertl, ERTL, and nobody talks about them. There's like one little page post on like Ghost in the Doll, or there's one little post here. We found one person who actually did a little YouTube video on it, and we had to use the YouTube video to try and figure out. And I just got to the point where I said, you know what? I can't even identify who these dolls are. I'm getting so tired of trying to search for them that I've just given up. Yeah. I knew they had a pretty good value, and there were 7 of them, and I'd seen some sold. So we did put them on eBay, and I just went, you know what? We'll pop them up on eBay for $88. And we sold them for $88. This is probably less than $10. So again, look for these little things when you see them. A couple of things to check out when you're thinking about this sort of thing is these are about 4 inches tall. And we've actually put a picture, I think, did we put a picture of their, well, that's their, here we go. I'll put that one up. This is what their little labels look like on the back. So I just looked and the date happens to be on them. But when I searched, I couldn't even find them in Google image search when I was in the store and seeing them inside a bag. So it was something interesting to find. And then finally, the last thing that I'm just going to show you, again, this was from one of our baggy lots. You remember, and we showed you this, the Fisher Price Pizza Dome. This was a baggie of like plastic food that we got that most people would have passed by. Well, I saw the Fisher Price name that was on the bag itself that was folded over in there. And there's the bag itself. And you could also see the Fisher Price name on that says Fisher Price right over on the side here. And I thought, okay, these are little bags. Had more things in them than this. But this particular one, you got the pizza, the pan, the sauce, the cheese, and the pepperoni. All in with this little pizza sauce tin. Nothing's in the pizza sauce tin. But we sold that after, I think it was listed for less than 2 or 3 weeks for $24
Mm.
for a plastic pizza.
Yeah.
Less than the price of a real pizza, or more than the price of a real pizza.
Oh, it's pretty expensive here. It's like $35.
$24 for a plastic pizza. So
Yeah,
again,
that's good. That's good.
it's thinking about the kind of things you may not necessarily think about when you're looking at stuff in a store. So that may have money behind it, and it didn't cost a lot of money. We still have, I think there's some bread, there's some hamburger, and there's an ice cream thing. All that came within those two bags that were like $2 or $3.99 a piece. Now,
It
the
can be
first
really
thing I got,
frustrating with stuff like that. It can be really frustrating when you know something's old. You can't find a lot of comps for it or any comps, and you have no idea what to put it up for, or if there's really demand. And like for me, or it's confusing, like Beyblades. I don't know if you ever looked those up. They can have a lot of value. I cannot find a good source of information on Beyblades. It's like I've gone and tried to go in so many times to learn them. I have so many now, and it's just frustrating. So some of the stuff I pulled out of storage was stuff I put into storage because I can find it before, even, and some of the stuff I was able to ID now, but yeah, that gives me a headache sometimes. That's
after we did the miniatures, Emily spent all night looking at miniature products. It's strangely addictive. Yeah. Hey, Tina. Yeah. Hey. April says she has a bunch of things like that. She doesn't know how to list it. Now, again, if you're part of the craft group, that's one of the things to think about. If you are having any challenges with something like that, make sure that you pop into the craft group, or you join us there at Canadian Resellers, and see if Rick is actually going to do some work while I'm talking about this. And find the Canadian Resellers and Fantastic Thrifters group on Facebook. And you can actually join us in there, and you can always ask the question in there. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to list this. Rick's put the link down there. Do you have the link that I can click onto, Rick, as well? If you can put it on screen, that would be great. I'm trying to make him at least do some work if he's sitting there off screen. But the first thing that you actually got through to us was this. Well, it's not the first thing, but this is one of the things that you put up, Carl. It's live in the YouTube chat.
right.
I know, but I wanted to put the link, Rick, so people can see the page if they're not used to it. Mr. Rick?
So this is boring. I'm showing it because I have so many RC tracks, because RC cars can have value. And you buy the big kit, and then you have all these tracks. And then one day it's like, bugger this. I don't know how much these things are worth. Yeah, exactly. I got a bunch of those too, and you get those. You can't really see it. You can kind of see a corner there of the RC track, RC boxes. And I was surprised that
I'll get there. There's the boxes where?
Oh, it's just you can.
I see right there, right in the corner. You can see the little track there.
There you go. Yeah, I got a few of those. I thought, well, maybe there's demand for these tracks, and then so I put it up, and I got okay money for that. It was worth the time. I didn't test this.
But again, that's the kind of thing. Again, I think a lot of people look at that, and I know that sometimes people will look at, they might see that slot car box.
Yeah.
Open it up and see no slot cars.
Okay, so that's a good point. When I'm at the store, I would say 90% of boxes do not have the slot cars in them. They've been stripped out, and then someone's donated it back, or whatever's happened, they're not in there. Personally, I only buy them if they have the slot cars in there. And I'm actually more shocked when they're actually in the box so I don't buy them blind for sure. I check.
So how did you end up with all of this track?
Well, because I stripped other cars out of other tracks.
You even yourself, you stripped out the cars.
Well, at home, I bought the whole thing, and at home, I took the cars out to sell. And then with the tracks, I was going to redonate the tracks back, right? And then I thought, well, maybe I should just check to see if these value and it's not like a ton of money. It's just that.
No, but it isn't. But it isn't. It's a standard thing that lots of people are looking for.
Yeah.
And that you just made $30 on something you said you were going to donate back.
Exactly. That's why I'm showing. This is not a huge money maker, but it's just like, this was worth my time just to take the pictures and do that stuff.
And that's just it. Diana was wondering, why don't we have macaroni?
Anyways, I would say don't buy tracks. Don't buy the sets if they don't have the cars. It's not worth it.
Well, I mean, it could be, but if they, if it's cheap enough, you may consider it. I
We
would
might
just say
consider
that.
it. Yeah.
But it's not, as you said, when you've got that, Rick, if you can figure out how to get rid of that comment, because I can't figure out how to get rid of it. When you've got that pile of stuff that's behind you, Carl, that we were seeing in that larger picture there, sometimes if you do see track like that, look up the actual slot car set, because there are also things inside the slot car sets that I want you to keep in mind. Like Carl was saying, that's the track, but a lot of the things that we've seen and sold have been like the little bumpers that go along the side, a little fence. It might be the finish line only that sells, like a little finish line piece. So keep those kind of things in mind, because again, just like Barbies and things like that, the small things disappeared. So the track may be something that everybody has, but the little cardboard stand that had people on it, a picture of people,
they lost that bit.
That fell apart. Went to Adrian, like Tempo train tracks go for serious cash, particularly the straight pieces, because people want to make their own larger like sets. So if that set that's behind you was $4.99 or $5.99 and may have no cars in it, it still might be worth a test or a risk or something like that. Because that's what
you have to decide for yourself. Yeah,
maybe not to ship in that box, because as you said, that box is a big box.
Honestly, a lot of times, if you're a collector, cover your ears, because a lot of times I throw out boxes, because when they get large, the parts are often worth more than the complete thing, and the shipping for those large boxes is insane sometimes. So, if the box is perfect, okay, or if the things are good, that's a different scenario. But
and there's another thing, as Diana said, picking up electric terrain power supplies. So sometimes in those boxes, you may find power supplies or things like that. So keep them in mind. Yes, train boxes can be gigantic. And Tamara is happy to announce she finally had sales because she actually listed something.
Hey, awesome.
See, that's what happens. You list and you can sell. That's part of the idea behind this. In the same world that we're talking about, Carl, and this is why it's, to me, I think it's really appropriate, it fits in, is you also sold this.
Okay, so this is slightly different. So this was actually, this actually argues against what I just said 5 seconds ago. So, I forget the name of this. I don't know if you can see it there. But when I saw the box, actually, I don't show the box because I threw out the box. Oh no, never mind. Can't remember what I did. Anyways, when I saw this at the store, I saw that it sold for $100, and I don't know if the name is there.
Yep, I gotta pop out to there so I can get the name. Grippy D Gravity.
Right. So when I saw the box at the store, I knew it was vintage right away. And my second thought is like, how come this is still on the shelf? And so I grab it, and it's supposed to have a little toy bus thingy that goes on it. And I was talking to a thrifting friend, and he says that doesn't have the bus in there. And I hadn't checked it yet. And then I thought about it, I was like, for $7.99 or whatever it was, I'm going to buy it and see if I can get the parts. And this sold within a week of me just listing it. So sometimes this goes against what I just said, where it was missing a key part, but it was still worth it for me to sell it. And I think actually when I shipped this, I didn't show the box because the box was destroyed, but I actually shipped it in the box.
Oh, in the box.
But
so
I didn't have
to. We won't show a box if it's destroyed or anything like that, so that it's not, somebody doesn't get it and think it's worse than I thought it was.
Exactly. The box was a bonus in this case.
Yeah, that's just it. So it shows up as a bonus. So we've done that often with a couple of different things. We're just going to pop on to something of mine now. This is something that we're always talking about, that Christmas can sell year round. And this was something that we literally found, I think it was February. And it was the beginning of February. And this is a Lennox Christmas Angel. And we found this actually at a Goodwill, or no, at a Salvation Army in their case. And it happened to that week they were doing 50% off decor or something like that. So I just said to the manager, this was $19.99. I said, this is decor. And she was like, and I was like, she knew I come in all the time. I say hi to her all the time. I joke with her all the time. And I said, oh, come on. And she said, okay, fine. And she gave it to me for 50% off. So it cost $9.99. brand spanking new in the box and sold within, I think, 2.5 weeks for, we listed it at $75. It sold for $60 US.
Nice.
So almost $40-$50 in profit that we got a little bit more on because we actually had the nerve to ask for an extra $10 off. And that's one of the things you wouldn't.
Anyone give me a discount? Every time I've asked, they went, no.
You ask, at least.
Yeah, so I've given up asking because I swear they want to double the price if I ask.
And yeah.
I don't know your secret.
Somebody just asked about your beard.
Yeah. Adrian asked about the beard. He says,
Rick is like, it was really simple to ship. So Adrian says he has a whole store called Angels and can't keep stuff in stock. Angels flip really quickly. It was the good guy discount. That's the thing we always say, Marla, is we treat people at these stores who work there like 90% of the people who shop there don't. So we have people who I have the ugliest, and Rick can find it for me maybe. I have the ugliest shirt that I bought in a long time. I bought it last week, and everything was on 30% off on this clothing rack last Thursday at Value Village. And I found this shirt that was just hideously bad. And everything else that was around it was in the $12 and $14.99 mark. And I asked the person that was there, "Can you get a price on this?" And he took it up to the manager, and he was like, and he pointed it, and the manager looked at me and she goes, "Hi!" And then all of a sudden, I got this thing priced at like $9.99 or something like that.
Man.
And I was like, I think, and the category, which probably should have been activewear, was done as long sleeve shirt. So I got the 30% off of this, but it was absolutely hideous. I brought it in, and Rick is like, "This is a knockoff. It is so freaking ugly. Why did you buy it?" And I said, "I bought it just so I can put a TikTok together for it. It is terrible." So you met here. This is it. I'm going to go to a little bit of a widescreen. He just brought it up and threw it on me. This is the knockoff version. This is what I saw in the store. This is all I could see in the store. And somebody can say whether that's all I saw in the store.
Nice.
Sticking out a sleeve. Does that mean anything to anybody?
Well, I know what that is. I have one of those around here somewhere.
It's Kiss, but I think in this case it might be Cuss, because this is the fakest shirt I have ever seen in my life. Look at the stuff that's on it.
I don't know. They produced a lot of merchandise, didn't they? Aren't they infamous for that? I wouldn't know a fake if I was showing one, though. But
well, there's nothing on here at all. This is the whole label.
That's not a good sign. No.
As Paul tries to enjoy an evening with a friend. There's Paul's friend. They both have the same hair. And then down in the bottom corner on one of and then this is the bottom. Gasp.
It was a different time.
And they still stink. Just a weird shirt that I had to buy.
Maybe she was like, "Oh, thank God we're getting rid of this." Maybe
but again, it's sticking out. I could see. I thought it's fun. It's sick, not Kiss. It's backwards. It is amazing. I don't know how I'm going to get. Rick was like, "You can't sell that," and I said, "Oh, we can sell that. If we can sell some things, we can sell other things." Considering something else that we sold, which was something that we were going to put this particular thing on to Whatnot. We were doing a show. It was about music and celebrities and stuff like that. And we've had this doll for 10 plus 15 years. Some people may remember it. They have to be a little older. There was a group called the Mamas and the Papas. And the Mamas and the Papas, famously, Michelle Phillips was in it, and John Phillips, and they were married. Mackenzie Phillips from One Day at a Time, that was their daughter. But Mama Cass was a larger lady who passed away quite young, amazing voice. And they always say the story is that she choked on a ham sandwich, and died because she was a large girl. Well, strangely enough, back in the day, she was so popular that they brought out the Mama Cass doll.
What the?
But not even that. There she is.
No.
Monday. Da, da, da. Now, Mama Cass, it's not so much that this, but Mama Cass is only 3 Mama Cass naked.
Yes. Yes.
Something everybody wants to see. Mama Cass. 1967
Wow.
from Hasbro. And Mama Cass sold for $125.
You find the weirdest dolls. Like, I don't know what to say. It's like
La, la.
they're in your vibration or
She's
something.
only 3 inches tall.
Oh.
She is from a series, which let me see if I can find it. Show Biz Babies. And they actually did Showbiz Babies of, see if I can get this picture up here. An open image new tab. Showbiz Babies, look at that. The monkeys and the mamas and the papas. Oh, she's missing her little white boots. But look, Herman's Hermits, Michelle Fife or Michelle from the Mamas and the Papas, Mitch Ryder, Spencer of the Spencer Davis Group, Bobby Gentry. Like, look at these things.
Random.
They all came out by Hasbro in 1967. And these are worth $100+ on the market. So you may, we got that years ago. Literally, it was in a batch of toys, and it was just like this giant head sitting in with a bunch of other dolls. It probably cost me $0.25. And we actually, the funny thing was, it had its hang tag on it from when we had our antique booth, which was a $55 price tag, and it didn't sell then. And I was going to put it on Whatnot for $25, and Rick said no. I don't know what that means. Actually sold twice. When April found out about our channel because we found the Emerald Bewitched doll.
Honey.
Yeah.
Honey, it sold twice. We sold it on auction. The person didn't pay because they were expecting their paycheck. Then they backed out. Then we relisted it for them on a buy it now with a higher value.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Someone else bought it.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. So it sold for more money than we were expecting to get.
So technically, it sold twice.
So yes, technically the one thing did sell twice.
Bye.
This is a little more common, but it's a strange looking one. This is actually one of yours, Carl, and it's a Paris Starbucks mug, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm showing this one because it went for good money.
And 2013. So again, this. Some people say that Starbucks stuff and Starbucks You Are Here mugs and places like that, they don't have a value anymore. They've depressed their value. And
I find they do. So
they have, but this holy
and
a handbag. What?
Yeah, it was a rare color. So I wanted to show this one for a couple of reasons. One is it got good money. The second one is this is the first time I've ever double boxed something.
Oh wait, that's supposed to be you there, not me there.
That's the first time I've actually double boxed something because after our last show, when I said I've had nothing break, something broke. So it's like, okay, I'm going to double box this thing just to make sure it gets there. And it's gone there. I haven't heard anything. So hopefully it's good. So yeah, that's why I wanted to show that. And with double boxing, it's like, I would never have done that, but it's like when something sells for this much, I'm like, I'm not going to, for an extra like $5 in shipping or whatever it cost me, I don't want to worry about it. So
no, and it's something again that's selling at $262. I would never have thought. And again, this is in 2023. This is when people say Starbucks mugs have no value. So always keep your. Is this a thrift store purchase? I'm assuming, Carl.
Yeah, and I sat on this for at least a year. At least a year. I was like, no, I want my money. I slowly lower things over time, but. Yeah.
Whoa, wow. Absolutely double box.
Yeah. It felt funny doing it because it's like, this is weird. But, the last thing that broke, it's like I boxed it so well and they still got busted. So I figured, well, at least with the, it'd be a lot of effort to actually push in 2 boxes enough to squish it and smash it.
I'm going to pop onto another one here. Actually, wait, that did that. I'm going to go to something else, which is just sort of a reminder again of things that we bought that we actually sold in the month. So Thrift It or Throw It. We talked about Thrift It or Throw It. And in our Thrifter to Throw It, we put this stuff up, and I think it was about a 60-70% don't buy. And it was for this set of Lavazza coffee, little demi-tasse little coffee mug and saucers. It was about a 60 to 70% don't buy. It was $7.99 for 4. So it was a set of 4 of them. And what we decided to do was we decided to split it and just put it into a set of 2. It didn't have a lot of comps anywhere that we could find. And we put this up, and it took less than, I think, a week for this, I think, Rick, under a week. And this set sold for $50 US. And so we sent the person a message and said, we have a second set. Would you be interested in the second set? And they were like, and this is somebody who has like 1 feedback. So they never bought on eBay. The 1 feedback is from us. So they found this set. We said, would you like another set? They said, yes. So we listed the other set and put it at $75 and told them just offer us $50.
Yeah.
So we got $100 US, included shipping, for this $7.99 set. So why did we buy it? It was because of the iconic. It wasn't the Lavazza stuff. It was because of those strange kind of
people
things. It was like the Zap and Pop and the Cougar lady that was on the one thing that was kind of a little weird, like licking her lips for some coffee. And
that's furries.
It's all the plushies and furries out there had something.
Venn diagram.
I'll take $100. Lisa said buy.
Like weird stuff.
So it's espresso set. Yeah, they're very different. So again, it was just something different. And then so we sold the 2 of them. And then I wanted to talk to also, we just recently did a thrifting challenge, and we said we're gonna go on to those to talk to you about if you're doing any thrifting about for the month of March for our thrifting challenge. So but we'll go back to something that Carl sold, which is Batman. This is interactive. This is a little interactive. Yeah. You have to lift back to get the cookie.
I already have the one for March. I've already picked up and sold the one for March. So I'm good. But I wanted to keep this one so bad. And it had a factory flaw. But this is actually another case where the box was destroyed. And I spent way too long packing this thing. But
so you didn't double box this one because it was still $75.
Yeah, but it was big already. And I had some foam. Oh, it was a big mess. It's like I would never pack it the way I did actually again. But I wanted to show because Batman.
Well, and that's one of Rick's things as well. Is like when you're trying to look at those things, is how do you deal with trying to do cookie? Because he still has not listed any of his cookie jars that we bought. Not one.
I have the draft ready for that pumpkin cookie jar.
You have the draft. You have the draft ready for that cookie jar for. I don't even know how long you've had the draft ready.
You haven't asked me whether it's ready to list. It's ready to list.
I gave up asking you because every time I go and ask you, "Is it ready to list?" You go, "Oh, I have to do this, or I might try this, or I might do that."
We could go live now.
Well, you know what, Rick? We actually have how many cookie jars?
12.
Yeah, so we haven't even got one listed yet. So
no, I listed one.
Oh, okay, you listed one. So this cookie, but if Carl can list a cookie jar and ship it and sell it for $75, you can list a cookie jar and ship it, right?
Yes.
Right. Yes.
List it.
And I'll do my video
live. Go.
I won't. I'll make it live in a little while. So
Carl, get your vase ready.
Yeah, it's sitting there. It's waiting. Back there. You're my excuse. This is awesome. I love it.
So we got a couple more things to show you in the what sold in February. But again, one of the things that we are talking about as well is how you can sell. And one of the other places you can sell that you hear us chat about all the time now is Whatnot. And we have been doing relatively consistent sales and Whatnot. Some are good, some are bad. So for those of you who may or may not be familiar with it, and I know we talk about it all the time, you can go onto the whatnot.com and you can see tons of different shows that are all on there right now. All of these shows are live right now. anything from estate sales to doll shows to Monster High only to paper shows. There's Popeye's Postcards, a huge paper seller on there. You can follow people so that you know these are all hosts that we follow. So if any of these people are going on there, we can see all these hosts that we follow. One of them is Schmidt Auctions. They actually do a live show every Friday night. We were guests on their Friday night show. There it is. There's it's a weekly rap show. If you remember, the weekly rap show that or the show we did on Whatnot had Franklin Hill Ventures on. Looks like they're going to be on this Friday on there as well. So all sorts of different kinds of things on there. So you keep an eye out. We actually, strangely enough, we sell Barbie dolls. And this Thursday, I'm going to pop to this. This Thursday is Barbie's 74th birthday. And so this is the interesting thing about Whatnot is we listed a show for Whatnot for us. This is, I'll go and show you. These are our shows right now. Two Dogs Dig shows coming up. And our show is, we just put a standard boilerplate little picture in there right now so people can see if they go, oh, there's a bunch of shows on for Two Dogs Digs that are coming up, so they can bookmark them if they want. Well, this Thursday is a vintage Barbie show, and again, we can even clip things in there. So we got Whatnot reached out to us and asked us if we wanted to participate in their Barbie birthday day, and they're going to send us, this is what's neat, they're going to send us $75 so we can give away some stuff on our show, some of our own items. So they're actually paying us $75 to give away items. So if I have a doll that I have that's $40 or $50 that I normally would sell it for, I can actually give it away now free. Why? Because Whatnot's paying me the $40 or $45. They're giving me $75 for that. So you can see us on Thursday. Now, I will say we did do a show. I'm going to pop Rick in there. We did do a show on Sunday. It was part of a thing that Schmidt Auctions put together, which was amazing in theory. It was called a mystery show. So there were, I think, 48 different sellers. And every half an hour, another seller came on for a 90-minute period. So we were on live on Sunday from 4 o'clock until 5:30. So we were on live, and we did this one person, another person, another. So they called the Mystery Train. And it was wild because we watched other people on doing their mystery trains on Saturday, and we spent time. We were working till 3 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning, like Sunday morning, getting ready for our mystery boxes. Well, the way that the mystery box shows work is you literally put a bunch of boxes up, and then people bid, and they have to put the low, the average, and the high. So we said our boxes were $75 minimum. And they were more. We aggressively looked at what we sell this stuff for and brought our prices down. So a $100 box that we know we could sell, we said it was $75. Our highest price box was $225. And we put in a teacup set in there that we have sold for $75 as one of the items. And our median for the 10 boxes we did was $125. And the first box that sold, they picked the highest price item. The very first freaking box that sold. They actually, and Sandy, I am actually giving away a Hallmark ornament in the show. I will be actually. So yeah, the very first box, mystery, they pick it out. And we had this. We put the choir boys, the evil choir boys, the possessed choir boys. We put a dot underneath 3 of them. And then the winner of each one got to pick a possessed choir boy and check underneath his robe. I know it's a little rude, but that's what we decided to do to make it fun. And so the first person who won something picked a choir boy with a prize under the robe.
One of the higher value prizes.
One of our high value prizes, too. It was just like, it was painful.
Yeah.
At least I don't get it. They get to choose which box from a shelf. Yeah. So we literally had a shelf behind Rick that had like 10 boxes numbered 1 through 10. And we just said, you bid, first bid happened to be $51. Which box do you pick? And so they said, I want box number 8. And then inside the box, we put it on camera, open it up in front of the camera. So they're not hiding anything. There's Rick's just showing you.
Yeah. We actually use numbers on a card. On a little display that we had that corresponded with the big batch of boxes behind us.
So it was interesting. A challenge for us was, especially compared to some of the other people, and this is no skin off Marla's nose, because Marla had organized this, like, so much work into this, and she did such an amazing job doing it. We do thank you for that. But we saw so many people selling stuff that had no value, and we were so concerned about our value. But what ended up happening was, because our first item went as our top box, and it went for $50, we had trouble selling the rest of our boxes. And we had a $25 starting bid on it. And the last few boxes we literally were getting 20 or 25, 26 or 27. The minimum value on those boxes was $75. In most cases, they were $100. And there was also chances to win more stuff.
Yeah.
So there were people, luckily, I mean, good. I'm happy. The nice thing was, I'm happy that some of the people, like Sherry, she purchased from us in the show, that they went to people who have purchased stuff from us before, like in other shows. We didn't really have anybody who came in and grabbed a $20 box and got $200 worth of stuff, and we don't know who they were. Everybody was somebody who actually was already a follower of ours and things like that. So we learned a lot. We don't know if we'll ever do another mystery show again.
You have to try things.
It was quite a learning experience.
We'll change tactics if we do.
We probably would change tactics. But again, we added to it, and we now have a total of 949 followers. And people are always saying, oh, you can't do whatnot without being on. Like, no, our 949 followers went up by 55 followers on Sunday. So we were at 896 or something like that. And we went up by that many followers on that day. And whenever we do a show, it pops in, and like Schmidt's going, yes, I hear you. I don't know. I'm sure that there's some degree that Marla's like, I don't know if I want to do a mystery show. Because the coordination that she had to do for everything was, it's like we just bow down to her for all the stuff that she did on this whole thing. So again, thank you for that. We are looking at hopefully doing some other shows. They might be more themed, because we did Petite Palooza. Now, I will say, our sales, just in case people wonder, our sales were over $350. So that's good. Like, that's $350 in sales. No shipping, right? We don't have to worry about shipping, because that's paid for by the people who are buying the things.
I mean, the postage purchase.
The postage is paid for by the buyer. The postage comes to, so we ship without having to think about that. We just have to repackage everything. And so our profit on it was $300 US. We'll have that money probably within a week and a half to 2 weeks. And of the $300 US, we probably at the end of the day made less than what we put into the boxes. But we did get rid of some old stock. Some of it was dead stock to us. So we're still happy we made $300 for 90 minutes. I can do 90 minutes on eBay and not sell anything. Right? So thank you very much. We're glad you guys came on the platform to raise the bar. We try. That's just it. We try. We hope to be, entertaining to some degree, scary to some. I'm sure that we lost people as soon as we said, and here are the possessed choir boys. Like, I'm sure that there's some people who literally went running.
They're not our crowd if they left for that reason.
Our crowd probably stayed. We actually had people who hadn't been with us before who stayed because we had the possessed choir boys. And I wrote a little song to sing with
the songs are back. I thought Rick Bandham at one point.
Let me see if I can remember what I wrote, because it's downstairs written down somewhere. 12 little choir boys all in a row. Something's up their robes that 12 little choir boys all in a row. Something's up their robes, and don't you want to know? Pick out a choir boy, will lift up their robe and see what's under there. It's not, I don't remember what the exact words are, but yes, I sang that every time. And then I changed the lyrics to like, who did their makeup? Was it Liza Tammy Faye? Like things, it was just weird. Anyway. But again, we did that. Now, again, overall, we did shows. Somebody asked if we do shows every week. Do we sell April? Yes, we actually try to do 2 shows a week minimum. We do a show every Thursday night at 8:30, and we try and do a show on Sundays. And the Sunday show can be in the afternoon or the evening, sometimes on Sunday. We still haven't figured that day out yet, or that time. We also do pop-up shows, which we just all of a sudden jump on, and we'll just do a show. And we've done this before where we could finish this show and I could say, you know what, I'm going to pop up right now to a show. Why? Because I could look on here, and this is depending on what you do as a seller, you could look on there and say, you know what, I happen to sell Funko. And right now in the Funko, look at this. There's 3,000 streams happening, but there's streams with 45, 50. There's all these. This guy's got 69 people set. These are all people in this show. There's hundreds of people right now watching these people sell Funkos. 170 people in this show. They're all watching to see if they can sell Funkos before they all get thrown into the wastelands like Funko's doing with that $30 million worth of stuff. But it might be the thing where I go, you know what? Now's the time for me to jump on in there because Funko sellers may be moving around, seeing I don't like this what person's got. I like what this person's got. So what's the white ghost thing behind Craig and in front of Mickey? Oh.
He'll show you in a second.
I'll show you that in a second. So you could do that if you happen to be doing plush. There's a few shows with plush on right now. You can also look and depend on what you're doing. If you happen to be doing women's vintage clothing, you can see right now that there are streams that have 7 people in them, probably because they think that's what that woman's selling, those kind of clothes. Other ones have 50 people in them, 75 people in them. So it's a really interesting platform. And again, what I would say to you is if you're thinking about another way to try it, some people are trying it. Sherry is about to try it. Jess Oman has done it. We know who else has done it, Rick? Shelly's done it. Carl hasn't done it.
Joel.
Oh, Joel's done it, I think. Yeah. So a number of people have done it. Yeah, there's a food category for people in the States. You can start at anything else you want. Emily said she saw one starting at $1 and had 75 participants in a women's clothing one. So yeah. 2 shows a week, no matinees. Yeah, take a look and see. And if you go there again, what we always say is if you haven't been there before, the invite is here. I'm going to post this right now, and you can get $10 off anything if you sign up through this invite that's on there. It's also going to be in the listing there. We also have a Whatnot, couple of Whatnot shows on our YouTube channel you can find that from. And then if you are thinking about selling, this is the thing you got to do is you got to think about selling. You need to use our code for selling because if you use our selling code, Whatnot will pay us $200 US, $250 Canadian, and we'll split that with you. There's no reason for us to make all the money if you're trying something. So again, what we say is try it. You get $125 to try it, basically. How many places will actually... This is what I'm trying to convince Carl to do. It's like, how many places will pay you $125 just to try it? You can go on and do a show and leave. We've done that many times where we've gone on and said, you know what? There's nobody here. We just aren't feeling it. We've been on 20 minutes. We haven't sold a thing. Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah. And then we've gone on again. April is trying to get up her courage to do a Whatnot sale. You have enough to sell. Well, I think that's it. You could have enough to sell. You use their link and you can get $10 credit on things. So there's big money in there. We have sold, I literally tell you, we have sold 0 in the past 2 weeks. We have had a show with 0 sales. That was a show, I don't even remember which show it was, Rick, but we had a show with 0 sales.
I've blocked it from my mind.
Pop-up paper. We did a pop-up paper show that was 0.
Right.
We did another show that was 75. We did a vintage toy show that like all sorts of different toys that was 300. And then our last Monster High show, which was our biggest ever, was $785.
Crazy.
$785.
Well, that was about a 2-hour show as well.
It turned into a 3-hour show, actually. But
it did.
We just kept selling. So
why not?
That's the thing. Time flies too when you're there. So if it flies by, you got to get used to the fact that one, you might have to talk about it. You don't have to be on camera. And this is what we keep promising Sherry we're going to do this, and we will this week. I promise Rick will make sure that we do this week. We'll show you the setup on how we do it and a couple of different ways to set up doing it. It's just as simple as having a camera on your phone facing something flat on a stand or anything like that you can actually show stuff. So you're going to put stuff in front of your hand. If you want to get more experience, you can do things with OBS, which can broadcast you and the scene. If you want to be like us, we set our iPad up beside us here I show Rick doing his Vanna, and then I flip around and show me. And I talk, and our laptop is here, and I type into the laptop, and I flip, and I show the scene, and Rick's selling. So that's all you have to do. You just have to try it. And if you are Canadian and looking at doing it, talk to us, but you should say, if you can, and you use a cross-border shipper, sign up with your U.S. address. But you can sell within Canada. There's Canadian sales that are happening all the time. They're trying to grow their Canadian side of things. In our show that we did for 3 hours, I think we sold about 40 or 50 items, Rick?
Yeah, it was close to 50 items. We did a lot of shoes and accessories.
Yeah.
In addition to the doll lots.
Just see if I can find my seller dashboard.
I think we had like 20 packages to ship out.
Is that the one? No, that's the. Well, here's a 700. This one is a $740 show. So you can see this one was started at 2/12/23. So this was Feb 12th. $739. We earned $640, so that's the fee. 44 total items, and then underneath this is how we had people buying stuff. So Biddy's Market spent $41 and bought 3 items. Katrina bought 1, 2, but we had people bought $176 worth of stuff, $53 worth of stuff, $8 worth of stuff. So again, you can we did all sorts of different ways to do things. So in this person $127 worth of stuff. So you can sell in the US if you are in Canada. Yes, they buy Canada Post postage to the US. So if you are in Canada and you want to sell to the US, the only thing you have to keep in mind is that the people who are looking at your show will have to pay a higher price shipping. So I'll give you an example on that too right now, since the question was asked. Go to Whatnot. And if you go to Whatnot and you look at, hold on a second, we go here. Sorry, trying to do things two-sided, and it's not easy for me when I make this thing bigger. Here we go. Help Center. When you get to Help Center, you can look at what buyers have. There's 4 buyers. You don't need to look at it as a seller. Domestic and international shipping costs. So if you are shipping in the US, there's the price is $4. If you are shipping from Canada prices. So here's the price in US. Everything's in US dollars for shipping things. You can do a 4-pound box in Canada for $12.50 US, which is cheaper than you can do with Canada Post. 3 to 4 pounds worth of stuff. But they also offer further down here, you can actually do Canada to US shipping. So if somebody in the US wants to buy stuff, they just have to pay a little more. It's $23 US because they're dealing with Canada Post. So the difference there is $23.75 US if you have a US address, Canadian address sending to the US. But if you're in the US and sending to the US like we use, $12.50. And then every extra item they get to buy that weighs that much is $6.50. So it's a great place for people. Again, I always just if you want to talk about it, send me a message privately, ask me questions. I'll do as much as I can to let people know, because to me, it is a platform that is really growing fast. They had little Bodie or little Yachty, I don't know what the hell his name was, some rapper on Saturday night and Thursday, crashed their system on Thursday. So they're spending lots of money. As I said, they're giving $200 for people I can refer. They're giving me $75 to give something away at a show. So awesome. You tell me another platform that's doing that. There ain't many others that are out there like that. So,
very supportive.
And you can hook up with other sellers and promote each other. There's all sorts of stuff. You can buy stuff from people that you flip and sell. If you have stuff in their store, you can actually bid on those. There's so many different ways that you can look at doing stuff like that. But the easy way is, if you can and you're in Canada, sign up with a US address if you use a cross-border shipper. That's how we did it. All the prices, now that's the weird thing. All the prices are in US dollars, even to Canadians. It's the one thing they haven't figured out yet. But that's why, Lisa, I say after you come back from your little vacation, I really think you should look at this, because you can sell to Canadians who are buying from you on Etsy if you don't have that cross-border shipper available, and you might be able to find an extra platform. Take a half an hour of every week that you have, Carl, And that half an hour, you might just pop on at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night and just go, I'm selling this. Anybody want to buy it? And try it. It's that easy to try it. So not only their prices are versus US via Canada Post are crazy high. Shipping to the US, yes. Shipping to Canada, I don't know, 5-pound box to 4-pound box to Canada for $12 US is about $18 Canadian. That seems pretty good to me. It's $29 if you buy a flat rate box. And again, there's lots of people in Canada who are selling that way, and they're set up within Canada. Shelley is doing it that way. I think Storage Wars Canada is doing it that way. And there's people selling comic books and all sorts of stuff like that as well. You can find Canadians on the shows as well if you go to there. I think there is a way for you to actually just sort on here and find whatnot, like Canadian shows. So if you want to search for Canadian shows, you can even do that and see who else is out there. Within Canada.
If you sign up in Canada with a Canadian account, it'll default to the Canadian shows.
Now, when we're talking about this again, so that's Whatnot. Think about it, look at it, try it, watch us just get some experience in something else. We are still listing on eBay, but I'd say 40% of our revenue is now coming from Whatnot versus 80%, which used to be coming from eBay. eBay is down to 40% or 50%. Etsy is still another platform for us. Facebook Marketplace is our fourth platform. We're out of Depop now. We're out of Poshmark now. And we're out of Pop Shop Live. We've dropped all of those. We can't have Mercari up here. But we are still 10% or so Etsy. And 10% Etsy and Facebook, probably 50% eBay, 40% Whatnot. So in less than 6 months, I've gone to 40% of my income being replaced from slower eBay sales to Whatnot sales.
And Max sold.
Hmm?
And Max sold too. And
and Max sold.
We haven't
got our
it up. There's only so much time you have, right?
Yeah, Pop Shop dead. Yeah, that is more like it. That's true. But again, what we are talking about here, and before we end, we're at our hour. We just want to remind everybody that our March challenge is up, and our March challenge is get moving your sales moving with interactive toys. I said you got now everything. I don't care anything can be interactive. Now here are two interactives that we sold that we're considering this interactive. We sold this talking Pokemon. Believe it or not, we actually found this at the Value Village for $7.99.
Nice.
A working Pokemon from 1999, and we sold it for $105. We did a 45% sale. We wanted to generate some sales that were slow. And we had two of these actually. We sold the other one about 5 months ago. This is an interactive toy. So this is what I mean by interactive. But you know what? I'll take this. This is a chess set. It's a deluxe chess set that it's interactive because you're moving the stuff around.
Oh, wow.
I've had so many people asking me, is this interactive? It's like, I don't care. Anything you can make interactive is interactive as far as
you can touch it. It's interactive.
That's
interactive. I mean, realistically, it's something probably electronic of some kind. And I'll tell you, like, this is it can be little. Like this is so Thursday of last week. I said Tuesday, here's your challenge. Thursday, I go out and I find this little guy. Look for buttons.
Everybody will know my beauty.
It counts.
All of Equestria will bow to me.
So again, we're going to have to comb her hair.
That sounds like you when you sleep talk.
This.
Equestria will bow to me.
It's Queen Chrysalis from the Equestria doll line, and a loose Queen Chrysalis. I got her for $3.99. Sells, not lists. Sells for between $25 and $40 for a loose one.
You didn't show me that you had bought that, so
I didn't tell you about that. No, but I did show you, which he actually hated me, as I talk about for real.
Dear right? Lord, I was ready to bonk him on the head.
Because for real, which are those animals that I talk about that have they're all the animals and things like that. And I said, this is not a setup. I walk in on Thursday to Value Village and find this. A brand new 2015 For Real Torch the Dragon. Sealed. It's still sealed. Nice. Rick hated me because I walk in with a giant box that he's now going to have to ship. But Torch sells for about $100 to $150.
Wow.
So this is what I'm talking about. This is an interactive toy. This is the Fur Real Friends logo that you can see on tons of stuff that's out in the stores. I was at stores today. Every single store I went to on their shelf of stuffed animals had at least one Fur Real animal there. So I don't know whether or not all of them are worth money. And you need to take a look and look them up. Do your Google search on them. Try and test them if you can in the store. Obviously, I can't test that. But when I looked at this and it had $3.99,
Brush my hair.
Brush my hair, my dear minion. I thought I've got to come home with this, but I did look it up. Google
Again,
search.
that's what you say when you sleep.
I do. I talk in my sleep. Brush my hair. So keep those in mind. Again, it's part of that thrift store challenge that we have for you for the month of March. We want you to try and see if there's any other things you may not have considered. Hopefully, even today, you saw stuff that Carl and I were talking about in our sales from February, especially like slot car track that you may be passing up, pieces, like two different things that Carl showed you, contradicting his own thrifting rules, but he still showed you two things that he sold that were pieces of something. That maybe you might have passed up and just thought about, we've gone to, like you said, we've gone to estate sales, and I literally will see a box, and if it has slot cars in it, I'll grab it, and I will piece out those slot cars, and I will sell the track extra.
Yeah.
Because it's something that you should think about doing. If you have a haunted doll, yes, if anything that's haunted, you could probably get rid of it. Oh, and the ghost behind us, well, the ghost behind us is actually from an estate sale, and this is a set of 2 ghost ducks.
Of course.
That we got at an estate sale for $5 a piece. Why did we buy ghost ducks for $5 a piece? Used dirty ghost ducks for $5 a piece? Because they sold for $50 each on when we checked the comps.
Nice.
So the ghost duck is just sitting there right now, waiting to go up, actually to get cleaned and then potentially go up for sale. But again, that's something that we just take a look on and take a chance and see what there might be something else that's out there for you. Carl, thank you so much for joining us on our What's Sold this month. I think we will talk about those sitting on profits in an upcoming show because we'll show you some of the stuff that we've been sitting on that we really shouldn't be sitting on because it's hundreds of dollars of stuff that we.
Oh yeah. If you watch like me every month, you'll see some of the stuff has been sitting on my shelves for a little while. It hasn't disappeared. What's going on with that?
Yeah, no, I can see that. And the thing is, I go out and buy a For Real, and it's like now I have to actually go and list this too. It's like I can't have this sit behind. So I got to do back to the Carl's rules. First in, first up. I got to list that or Liffy, whatever those rules were. I got to get that listed, and I promise I'll have that listed before next Tuesday. So, but
last in, first out.
Oh. I'm trying to remember what the acronym. I know what it means. Don't bring it home and sit on it.
Exactly. Get it.
Like
it helps.
Like I am on the duck. I won't like I'm sitting on the duck.
Yeah.
So, thank you again, Carl.
Hey, thank you for having me on.
For being on here. Thanks to everybody on the side who's joined us here on the Hall Pass. Thank you, especially to the members who have supported us on Two Dogs Digs here and on our craft group on Facebook. Again, any questions you got, just list them down below here in the item. If you're seeing the show afterwards, ask the question below in the comments, and we'll get back to you. We answer almost every comment that's there, unless it's a comment that doesn't really require answering, like "thank you," and that's like, "Thank you." We don't know how to answer something like that. Or see us on Instagram, find us on TikTok, see us on Etsy, and look for us on Whatnot. We'll see you again next week with a live Hall Pass, and we're hopefully going to have another show or a little post or two in the middle of this week. Woof! I'm Bad Dog. That's Good Dog. That's Mr. Carl, the lazy reseller.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks for watching, everybody.